fascinating because is that why you, I have so many questions. Is that why you're against buying houses? Because you saw that what buying a house made a dent or a pressure on your family's financial situation.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the stories that has definitely scarred us. So even now when I ask my dad, I ask him what is the biggest financial mistake of his life. He says it was buying the house. And when I ask him, can you explain to me in numbers? He's like, at that point of time, he had 50 lakh rupees cash, like savings. This is in the 90s, 50 lakh rupees.
Huge.
Right? Huge money. And he put it all in making that mansion. Like he bought the land and he made the mansion.
Okay. So real estate cost plus construction cost.
Yeah. And he took a loan also, like around 20-30 lakh loan.
Yeah.
Today, the value of that house is 5 CR.
Okay.
Right?
So investment redeemed.
Yeah. So that's what you might think, right? And obviously, you might think, okay, I should be happy. It's a 5 crore house. I'm rich. I don't have to work for money. Obviously, I'm never going to sell the house. My dad is never going to sell the house.
Right.
It's an emotional thing.
Of course.
Right? So that's never going to pay for any of my business class tickets.
You're not going to turn
vacations.
into a commercial, like a piece of real estate as well, right?
No, because it's like a family heirloom, right? Like I would not want to it's like, let's say the Mysore Palace, they're not just going to sell it, right? It's like a family, heritage.
Right.
So I'm not going to sell the house because there's a lot of emotional connect. And that is a problem with most people. They will buy the house and never sell it. Second thing, I asked my dad, he's like, had he put that 50 lakh rupees in buying like really good real estate plots where there is a lot of action happening of builders, and Mangalore has gone through a huge real estate boom in the last 20 years. Lot of action happening, lot of 50 floor, 100 floor buildings coming.
So very high purchasing power as well. Very surprised to notice that when I got there.
That's because it's in the Kerala border and a lot of people from Kerala also come and migrate there.
Right.
And my dad told me, had he made some good decisions in terms of buying good real estate investment options, he would have been worth 100 crores today. He said that he would be worth 100 crores today. And my dad is a real estate expert. Even today, he, does these kind of deals where he's like a middleman because he knows the buyers, he knows rich people, and he knows all the constructors in the city.
Yeah. We have very similar backgrounds that way.
Yeah. So he makes those cuts. But the point I'm trying to make is that I'm not against real estate. A lot of people, when I say this, don't buy a house, people think that I'm anti-real estate. That is wrong. Real estate comes in 3 parts, 3 options of real estate. Number 1 is you buy that house, right? Let's say you buy a 3 BHK house. Let's say we're in Mumbai. This is a 3 BHK house. You buy this 3 BHK house and you live in it.
Right.
Number 2 is you buying a plot of land, right? Let's say in the outskirts of the city, you're waiting for the city to develop and then you will sell it. Number 3 is you buying a commercial space and you give it for rent, right? You give it, let's say you buy a shop and then you give it for rent and you make some 7% rental income. The second and the third option are excellent. Most of the people in India have become rich by doing the second and the third option. But when these people listen to me say don't buy a house, they are thinking that I'm against buying plots of land or commercial spaces. But boss, I am talking to the middle class Indians who can never even imagine of buying a 1 crore, 2 crore plot of land or buying a 4 crore, 5 crore office space and give it for rent. They are thinking of buying a 1.5 crore, 3 BHK house by taking a 1 crore loan and paying 80,000 rupees per month EMI. That is what I'm against. Because that is not an asset in my opinion. Because that is not making you money. Even if the value of that flat goes up.
You still can't sell it.
You still can't sell it.
You would still have to go live on rent.
Right.
If you were to sell it so that you could get the money.
You will never sell it. Right. And even if you sell it, you'll just buy another house.
Yeah, because exactly.
You'll save the taxes.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm against. So, and the last thing I will tell you why I'm against that. Because a lot of people say, hey, my parents became rich by buying a house, which is true, right? Like even my dad, like you said, okay, he put 50 lakhs and today it's become 5 crores after 20 years. Somewhat, okay, 7-8% returns. 5 crore is still a lot of money today. So a lot of people think that, hey, my parents became rich by buying a house. Why shouldn't I buy a house? The reason you should not buy a house now is because we cannot just copy paste financial decisions what the previous generation did.
Yeah.
Because the rules of the game has changed.
They also had no idea how this would play out in the next 20 years. They couldn't see the future.
No, forget what our parents did, whether they were in, finance experts or not. That's a different thing. They just bought the house and that has become very good investment decision for them in hindsight. And the reason for that is because of the real estate boom that India has seen in the last 20 years.
Right.
Now, will we see that same real estate boom where a house price will 10x in the next 10 years, which is actually what happened in the early 2000s. But can you tell me that, okay, today's house, which is, let's say this is a 2 crore house, Will this become worth 20 crores in 2034? The answer is no. It's
I don't
not
know.
possible.
Yeah.
Right? So what people are mistaking is that they are thinking, okay, what my parents did, I should copy it. And parents are also telling the same thing.
Right.
Because every generation thinks that if they have made money by doing something, that should work forever. But that is not the game, right? I would say that we are living in an unfair, this generation is very unlucky. Because we are living at a time when real estate prices in India is very, very overinflated. It has reached the bubble territory. I'm talking about the heart of the cities where people are buying those 2 BHK, 3 BHK houses. I'm not talking about tier 2, tier 3 towns where you're buying plots of land. That's a different conversation. I'm talking about people buying a 2 BHK, 3 BHK house to start their family. We are an unlucky generation. I'm talking about people who are in their late 20s and even early 40s. Buying a house right now would be the worst mistake for this generation. Maybe 30 years later, maybe the real estate prices are not as inflated as they are right now, right? Maybe they don't grow as fast. If you look at the last 10 years, real estate in the heart of the cities of all the major cities has grown by only 6-7%. So let's say that is still growing slowly. And then people are getting richer and richer. So suddenly real estate becomes cheaper now. Let's say the interest rates also goes down. Earlier interest rates was 12-14%. Now it is 8%. Let's say 20 years from now, the home loan interest rate becomes 4-5%. In the US, it is like that. It has also gone down to 2-3% in the US. So let's say in the future, India's home loan interest rate also comes down to 4-5%. And all of a sudden, real estate is cheap, interest rate is also cheap. Then by all means, go buy a house.
Right.
But that is not the times that we're living in right now. So there is no rule which is applicable forever. Financial decisions keep changing depending on the market forces. Right now, the market forces are not in favor of this generation. So I don't make the rules. I'm not saying, don't buy a house because I have done some insane, magic. I'm not making these rules. The market forces are making these rules and I'm just communicating it to you. Whether you want to believe it or not is up to you. But the math is clear. You will screw yourself if you buy a house now, especially in the heart of the cities of Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad. You will get screwed if you buy a house now.